Hey everybody, Andrea here. I want to share this on my page, so I'm going to do that really quick, and then I'm going to jump into something that I want to share with you. Okay, let's see. Okay. Hey everyone. It's quiet here. It's a little early to be quiet here, but it's quiet here because on Wednesdays, when my husband and my oldest go to the church for their scouting activity, I put everybody to bed early because it's Wednesday and I'm kind of tired. So I wanted to come on and talk to you a little bit about some books that have changed my life. I love to read so much. I recently told some friends of mine, actually it was in my accountability group because we do a fun check-in every night where we kind of ask some questions to get to know each other better. And the question that I posed was, what job would you do if money wasn't an issue? And I would read books professionally. I don't want to edit them. I'm not even really sure I want to critique them. I just want to read books. If I didn't have to have a job, that's what I would do. Anyways, I want to share a couple of books with you tonight that have really changed my life. So this is the first one. This is called These Is My Words, The Diary of Sarah Agnes Prynne. It takes place during the time when people were moving across the country, pioneer times you might call them, and it follows the story of a young girl who becomes a woman and just her life. And I think maybe the reason why this book touched me so much is because of when I read it. I read it shortly after my divorce, and I was very much a broken person. That's a very hard time in my life. I don't have any anger or animosity about my divorce. I just really struggled with rediscovering who I was. And this book really helped me. It's a novel. It's not a true story. It's based on things that probably could have happened. But this woman, it follows her journal. And you can kind of see that she's pretty uneducated in the beginning. You probably got that from the title. And then she learns to read and she teaches herself a lot, and it kind of improves through the book. But just through her experiences and the strength that she musters and the gumption that she has, it's so compelling, and it just was a story that touched my heart and showed me that even when you're broken, you can be fixed. And I highly, highly recommend it. The author is Nancy Turner. I highly recommend it. Another book that has changed my life is the Book of Mormon. I don't want to get, super, crazy religious on you, but this book is true. And I know that. And I feel that when I read it, and I read from it every day. I've made it a goal from the time that I discovered the Book of Mormon and read it the first time. The first time I read the Book of Mormon, I was 17 years old, and since then I have read it once a year. So yeah, I've read it once a year for the last 20 years. It is that awesome, and it is that life-changing, and it touches my heart in different ways every time. And if you haven't read it, you should read it. Here's another book that changed my life. I didn't start reading, I really love novels, and I didn't want to read nonfiction books ever. But when I started my business, it's really encouraged to read personal development books, books that help you develop as a person, something that as a therapist I would call a self-help book. And in the beginning I kind of was like, this is so stupid, I'm not going to do this. But I kind of came around to the idea about 3 or 4 months into working my business, and I have been amazed at how grateful I am that I now have this aspect in my life. So every morning I read a personal growth book after I read my scriptures. I'm currently reading, and then I'm listening to one too. I kind of have 3 or 4 things going on right now. But this is the first one that I read cover to cover. It's called The Compound Effect. It was written by Darren Hardy. And this book just changed my life. it changed the way that I thought about things. It changed the way that I thought about my goals. Because sometimes, you know, you make a goal and it's like this big thing that's so far away and you're kind of like, how am I ever going to achieve that big thing? But really what it's about is the little things that you do every day that kind of add up. There's another book called The Slight Edge that I've also read by a different author named Jeff Olson. And he talks about a similar principle, that all these little choices that you're making are kind of sending you either in this edge, this curve going up towards achievement, or these small choices that you're making are leading you down, kind of into further misery and muck, if that's kind of where you are. So just changed my life because I just was thinking about things all wrong. And it kind of gave me so much power because I was like, oh my goodness, I have power over my life, more than I ever thought I did before. And I need to utilize it and harness it and make those small choices every day that will add up over time and allow me to be the kind of mom that I want to be the kind of wife that I want to be the kind of friend I want to be. And I'm not perfect, and I make mistakes every day, and I'm sure that a lot of you can relate to that. But I do know that as I'm constantly striving to do better in my personal life, in my business, in my relationship with my Heavenly Father, as I'm constantly making those small choices, that over time it's going to add up and I'm going to get where I want to be. And I believe the same is true for everyone else. So I hope that you guys will pick one of these up, one of these books up that I talked about, and take a chance on them and see how they can improve your life as they've improved mine. I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm going to enjoy a quiet house for the next 30 minutes.